YouTube, hello, I'm back. This time I asked former and current Epro League players, casters, and coaches what they thought about the new Epro League season and what their predictions were for Epro League season 2022 2023. Full disclosure, I didn't put my own predictions in here. I probably could have, but I didn't do it. Also, I'm doing this video in English because, of course, half of the people speak Dutch, half of those people speak French, but everyone understands English, so that's how we're going to do it. I do tend to speak a bit faster in English, especially when I'm recording, so I'm sorry for that. So the format of the ePro League is that there's two groups. Out of each group, four teams will advance to the playoffs. And in Group 1, we have RSCA, STVV, Mechelen, Club Brugge, Standaard de Liège, Gent, Cercle Brugge, Eupen, and KRC Genk. And then I asked everyone who out of these nine teams will advance to the playoffs. So which of the which four teams will make it to playoffs? And when I asked them, there's actually 100% of all the people I asked that said Club Brugge will make it to playoffs. Also, Genk was very close with only a few votes off, and then Mechelen also being one of the favorites, it seems. You can read the percentages on your own time. You can pause it, or you can look at it while I'm explaining, but I'm not gonna go over every percentage. So it seems there's one more spot for either Gent or Standard, who also have a lot of votes for them. But for me, the main takeaway here is that, or the surprise here, is that Anderlecht only has 19% of the votes, which means only 19% of the people think that Anderlecht will make it to playoffs, which is a big surprise, seeing how well Zak has done in the previous years in the ePro League. But so we'll see how things go, and I'm excited to see how Group 1 turns out. Now, when I ask people who qualifies, I also ask them for the top scorer and who will end in first place. Now, for the top scorer of Group 1, it's not very not very close at all. It's Rudy Ekman for Club Brugge, of course, who is taking the big lead with 85%, and some of the other candidates are mainly Genk, but then also some votes for Gent, some votes for Standard as well. And then finally, it's again not going to be a huge surprise at this point, but who would become number one in this group? There's only one favorite, and it is Rudy Ekman. There is, however, a switch between Standard and Mechelen. Standard did have some votes when it came to top scorer, but he doesn't have votes anymore when it comes to ending first in the group, and that's where Emino or Keanu from KV Mechelen suddenly pops back up, and he got some votes. So who knows what Mechelen and Keanu can do. Now, let's go over to the second group. In the second group, we have Antwerp, Seraing, Oostende, Union, Westerlo, Leuven, Charleroi, Zulte Waregem, and Kortrijk. And out of those people, no one had 100% of the votes. So no one thought one club was very clear on going to the playoffs, although Union was only a few votes off and was very close to being 100%. Aside from that, we also see that Charleroi and Leuven are some of the favorites for everyone else. And then again, there will be a lot of fighting for the fourth spot, aside from these three favorites, if you have to believe the stats, of course. And the fourth spot will go to either Zulte Waregem, Oostende, Seraing, Antwerp, Kortrijk, or Westerlo. And of course, what we see here is that Westerlo didn't get a single vote. Is it based on the first match we already saw? Is it based on something else? Well, it's not a really well-known name in the scene. Maybe that's why. But there's also some other surprises, like everyone knows Zimet and Manse can upset everyone, so they're kind of low. So I'm very excited to see how Group 2 turns out. I think there's definitely going to be surprises, and yeah, let's see. When I asked people for Group 2 who would be the top scorer, again, the three favorites come up. So again, Charleroi, Union, Leuven. But then also Zulte Waregem and Seraing are still there. And then what I did found noteworthy is that KV Ostende had 37% chance, or was 37% of the people said that they would be in Group 1, but no one said they would be top scorer. Not a single person said they would be top scorer, which is quite a difference from going from 37% to 0%. And then, so it probably means he will be fighting for fourth and the third place, probably, unless he always gets 1-0. Anyway, I'm talking too much. Group 2, who will become the first place? Again, the same three favorites. No, not a big change. Here, Zulte Waregem is also going towards the 0%, which also probably means he will be fighting for that third, fourth position. And we do see still there are some Seren believers. Um, Very exciting to see. Now we've seen Group One, Group Two, but there's also some other questions to be had, and that is who will be the best newcomer in the ePro League. So who will be the best for his first time playing in the ePro League? We didn't take into account that they may have played already as a second player for a team. It's not really the same. And we also didn't include second players for the teams at the moment. And when we asked people who will be the best newcomer, almost 50% of the people, almost half of the people said Kinan. So Union would be the best newcomer. Then 1 in 3 said NB for Charleroi would be the best newcomer. But then also there's some other votes, but the one that stood out to me was 11% for Milan, who is playing for Ghent, of course. And why is it so noteworthy? It is because he was the only one picked out of Group 1. Now, Group 1 is, of course, a very difficult group, and maybe we should ask ourselves, so like, what does he need to do to become the best newcomer? Is it just qualifying? Is that enough? But then again, if Kinan, for example, destroys everyone and shows a lot of class, how does that measure up to just qualifying out of Group 1? We'll have to see. So that's almost it. But of course, we can't end this questionnaire thing without asking who would be the winner of the ePro League. And when we ask that, of course, it's no big surprise. 81% of the people said that Rudy Ekman or Club Brugge was going to win it all. There are some underdogs in KV Mechelen, Union, Genk, Eupen, and Antwerp, but there's one big favorite for this tournament, and that is Rudy Ekman or Club Brugge. Now, I hope you enjoyed this. Thanks for watching. I will let you know that every Wednesday evening, after I'm done with work, of course, I will watch the ePro League games, do some analysis, and I will do that on my Twitch channel, which you can go follow. It's twitch.tv/ArrneM. And then, of course, also you can subscribe on YouTube. But yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one. Bye.